Howdy, howdy, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video for Tower of Fantasy. My name is Ventus here. What's good with you? Alright, guys, in this Tower of Fantasy video guide, I'm going to show you, hopefully, how to increase your damage right now. Some things that you can do right now to just increase your damage output for your character. Now, there are a lot of different ways to increase your damage in Tower of Fantasy. You can upgrade your weapons. You can get better weapons that are like the meta right now. You can get better weapon chips. You can upgrade those weapon chips. You can advance those weapon chips so they unlock even more power. You can get stronger armor. You can advance your armor to make your armor stronger so you do more damage. That way, you can get crit on your armor. There are a lot of different ways, but the way that I'm going to talk to you about increasing your damage this time in this video is going to be about your armor. Now, really quickly, before I get into all of that, do me a favor. If you are new here, if you've never seen my face before and you want more information on Tower of Fantasy, subscribe to this channel with all notifications turned on, and then after this video is over with, if the information was helpful, come on back to my channel and browse my playlist for Tower of Fantasy, because I have made a ton of videos so far since the launch of PlayStation Tower of Fantasy for the game, helping many people with many things that they don't know, questions that they have, and questions that they didn't even know they had until they saw the video for it. So definitely head over to the channel and check out some of those videos, because there's probably some information there that you may have missed. And also, the most important thing, come on by the live streams. I stream almost every night, I try to, and I hang out with the chat, and it's just a really cool time, and we just like have fun hanging out with each other, sharing information, and just basically playing together if they're on the same server and whatnot like that. So it's a really cool time if you come through the streams. Alright, so with all that being said, let's get right into how to increase your damage. Alright, so the first thing to getting more damage out of your armor is to increase your gear quality, get a better quality of gear, and that means getting the gold level gear or the fortress gear, and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so this is my character as he stands at the making of this video. I have all different varying levels of fortress level gear. You can see it on the left hand side there. Now, if you don't know how to get this gear, I have made a quick, to the point, step-by-step guide on how you can get your first set of fortress level, elite level gear, and emphasis on first set of gear. Alright, so a couple weeks ago I was in the stream and they let me know, very unceremoniously, that there are different gear slots that you can put on your character that are attuned to doing different things, that allows you to do something called min-max your stats with different sets of gear. Now, if you've never heard the term min-max before, it is basically a gamer term that translates into English by saying focus on one area of your character to exploit like the strength of your character and do that one thing the best with your character. And the way that you do that in this game, or at least I think the way that you do that in this game, is by min-maxing your stats to focus one element per set of gear. So this first set of gear you have, you see me have right now, is going to focus on my fire element, because most of my weapons in my warehouse that I have been collecting, that the game has deemed necessary to give me, are all pretty much fire weapons, right? My strongest weapons are all like fire weapons. So it makes sense for me, because most of my weapons are fire weapons, to attune my gear towards fire damage. So that's not to say that I don't have ice weapons or volt weapons and stuff like that, but the most weapons that I have right now that I use actively are going to be fire weapons. And also with that too, I am actively getting other gear sets, and I'll talk about that in just a second, but I just wanted to basically let you know that this is like a fire set that I have, my first set. You can see that all the stats on it say flame attack. Most of these stats are going to say flame attack. I need to get another piece there. This says flame attack. These hands say flame attack, and one thing to note here, if I don't say it, I'll hear it in the comments. When you get those fortress hand guards, these are one of the only pieces that have crit on them. You have crit on your hand guards, and you have crit on your boots. So eventually, at some point in time, I will make a separate video on how to raise your crit, but for right now, if you're looking for ways to raise your crit, you definitely want to make sure that the boots that you get have crit on them. You want to make sure that the hands that you get, the hand guards, have crit on them as well, and I do believe some of these fortress eyepieces will have crit on them as well. Mine has 2 crit stats, and I think my micro reactor might have crit on it as well. One of these micro reactors that I have has crit on it as well. So I was always like wondering, like, why are they giving us multiple pieces of gear once we got, because I didn't know you could make different gear sets. So the way that you get this gear after you've got your first set is to farm it, right? And the way that you farm it is by going to the commissary, and when you're in the commissary, the crystal dust store, it's just right there, and you have the ability, once you get a certain level, I believe it unlocks at like level 50, I'm not sure exactly what the first level is, but once you get a certain level, you will get the ability to purchase using this currency, energy crystal dust. You get this energy crystal dust from doing operations, so if I look and see what operations give you energy crystal dust, you've got your joint operations, your dimensional trials, and I do believe Interstellar might give you energy crystal dust. I'm not sure. And then you've got your challenges. I believe Frontier Clash might give you energy crystal dust. No, that just gives you armor. Void Risk, does that give you energy crystal dust? I can't tell. But basically, any like operation that you do with other people, there's a good chance that it gives you energy crystal dust, and you use that energy crystal dust in the commissary to buy your separate pieces of armor. And then, and again, like, you have to be a certain level like to get these armor pieces. Like, I just got level 60 and I just got the ability to get Fortress Helm and I think Fortress Handguards. Like, it comes in pieces. Like, you can purchase like 2 or 3 pieces and then it says it's locked, and then you go down again when you get a higher level, you get 2 or 3 more pieces that you can unlock, and then once you get to level 60 like I am, you can unlock all the pieces of the Fortress gear. And then really, I used to think that the grind of the game was getting on every day and trying to find the perfect weapon chips for your weapons, but no, I think that the main grind is the ability to get these different pieces, to make sure that these different pieces have the stats on them. Now, I have grinded on my character so far to get a fire set, and then I have an ice set because those are the 2 weapon sets that I use the most, right? So this has frost attack on it, frost attack on that. You know, so you got to make sure that the pieces that you get have frost attack on them, or ice attack, or fire attack, volt attack, whatever your main weapon is going to be. And also, there's a set for physical damage and tanking. Tanking, you want your tanking stats to be on your tank, because this is my tank stat right here. You want your tank stats to have a lot of physical resistance, a lot of resistances, but also more than that, you just want basic attack stats. Every piece of armor that you have, you want it to have attack stats on it, because attack stats, or having a high attack, is a great way to pull aggro from enemies. So high attack on your tank set. And then if you're going to have a healer set, the same thing applies there. High attack, high crit. High attack, high crit for healing stats. If you want to give like really, really good heals, that sort of brings out the healing power of your equipment. Alright, but for certainty, you want to get 2 or 3 sets of gear that are min-max or tuned to different elements of weapons that you use, and that is going to be probably one of, if not the main grind of the game, that is going to last probably the life of the game, because you're always going to be able to get a better piece of gear. You might have a perfect piece of gear, like your boots. It might have 1 crit stat and your flame attack stat, and then you might roll another pair of boots. And what I mean by rolling another pair of boots is just by getting 1,200 crystal dust and go to the store and then select a pair of boots, and then that pair of boots that you get, the random stats, it might have 3 crit and 1 flame attack. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that good, but it might be something better than what you're using, and then you enhance that, and then your character is just going to be the stronger for it. Now, once you have all of these equipments, the way that you can tell if you're doing the right thing, the way that you can tell if your character is strong, you can go to your character sheet, which is just on the Wanderer tab, and you can look at your flame attack. Right now, my flame attack is 12,608 versus my frost attack with this set, which is 7,602. So that means my flame attack on this set is insane when I use flame damage weapons. Now, vice versa, looking at my almost complete frost set, I still have to get some gloves for my frost set, because my frost set gloves are just elite level, they're purple gear. But if you go to the Wanderer stat there and look at my frost attack, it's still pretty crappy, actually. 7,924. I've got to upgrade that armor just a little bit there. But you get the idea. All right, so the main question that you probably have right now, well, Ventus, how do I get multiple pieces of gear? I've done the essential thing. I went to the inners, and I've got my first set of gold gear. How do I get more gear? All right, well, they made it simple in this iteration of the game, this version of the game. They have something called Terminal, and they have appointed research. And this is probably what you're going to spend most of your time doing. And if you're not spending most of your time doing this per day, then you're playing the game wrong. All right, so when you do appointed research, they just have different rewards, right? So you'll know appointed research from when you got your first set of elite level gear, because these first things, they gave you armor boxes. I think it was a deep sea research, right? Yeah, deep sea research. That's how you got most of your gear, from ecology, monitoring, and, you know, plankton, whatever. You got your gear that way. But deep sea research, appointed research, and here's the thing, right? So you do this, but biological activity and get that all the way maxed out so you can get to basin ecology. Not basin ecology, what is it? Real-time echo monitoring? Yeah, here it is. Real-time echo monitoring. Real-time echo monitoring, excuse me. Alright, so real-time echo monitoring for reward has energy crystal dust as one of the things. You just got to make sure that you have energy activation charges for it. You get like 5 of them each day, and you can also spend your dark crystals to get them. And then it's just real simple. You go and get these different materials: thorn fruit, solid bone fragment, antelope antlers. I need to go get some more of those, and then the behemoth bones. And basically you do that in the confounding abyss. So the way, I mean, my character's in the confounding abyss right now. Confounding abyss, you press your touchpad on your PlayStation controller and you bring up your map, and Confounding Abyss is just this. And now if you haven't yet unlocked Confounding Abyss, just do the regular story and you'll get there. Eventually it'll unlock the areas for you. You get to Confounding Abyss, and everything that you farm in this place gives you everything that you need for appointed research. Some things you might have to go to Inners and do some deep sea stuff and fight some like sea creatures or whatever the case may be, but for certainty all you have to do is just go into your appointed research, and whatever you're trying to get, the game will tell you where you need to go to get it. But just as a heads up, most of the stuff that you're going to need to like really farm these things that you're going to need for real-time echo monitoring to get this 600 repeatable. This is repeatable. You can do this over and over again so long as you have all the materials, and you can keep getting 600 of these things along with, you know, your dailies, getting your daily energy crystal dust from that stuff. And there are a bunch of other things here. Now, if there's somebody out there, excuse me, who knows of another like easier repeatable thing that you can do to get energy crystal dust, definitely let us know that down in the comments, because as of right now, the making of this video, how I've been getting my energy crystal dust in a repeatable quest is by doing this real-time echo monitoring after, you know, fulfilling all the requirements. Basin ecology, I had to fulfill basin ecology all the way, claim that reward there just so I could go to the real-time echo monitoring. And there's a lot of things in here, man. Just browse this list on appointed research and see what you need. Like sometimes you might be able to get stuff like this. Fortress Tactics Ice Piece Shard. People are like, how do I get the extra armor pieces? So these extra armor pieces, and I'll show you on my character here. So you'll see I have like the Fortress Micro Reactor. I've got this, the Fortress Exoskeleton. I've got the Fortress Combat Energy Engine, and then the Fortress Eyepiece or Tactics Eyepiece. These are different little extra things that give you extra stats that you're definitely going to need in all of your different sets to get you those extra stats. And when you get them, you're going to try to make sure they at first have crit. First and foremost, have crit. And then secondarily, you're going to look for the element that you're using for that set piece. And how you get these really is going to be by collecting shards. And you collect shards in a number of ways. Special events, crew events. So I'll just show you. If you look at the special events that are going on right now as they're making this video, they're probably going to be over soon. But Jade Pavilion Fest, if you go to the rewards for Jade Pavilion Fest, the rewards store, I do believe, and I've already probably, like, I've gotten all of mine. Let's see here. You can get a number of energy crystal dust out of this place. Yeah, Fortress Tactics Eyepiece. You can actually get an entire eyepiece out of here, not the shard. And then Fortress Micro Reactor, there's shards in here that you get from this event. Fortress Exoskeleton Shard, you can get that from the event. And then the Calling Melody. Let's see, I think there was some stuff in Calling Melody as well. I might be faded here. Yeah, Fortress Tactics Eyepiece. You get an entire eyepiece out of the Calling Melody. So whenever they have events and stuff like this, don't just ignore them or write them off. There is a lot of rewards you can get here. And also, too, when talking about rewards, look, Cluster. You need these to enhance your armor. They are basically giving these things away for free. Energy Activation Charger. You need a lot of these, and they're basically giving them away for free. At least 8, was it per day? They're giving away 8 per day. All you got to do is play the stupid event, win the stupid event, and get the currency so you can buy these things, which I have to do today to get my daily limit so I can increase my armor, increase my armor chances. So yeah, definitely do that. And also, another great way to do this, if you're in a crew, and if you're not in a crew, join a crew. Right now, my crew is called S tier. I think that we're at max right now. Looking at my crew, yeah, we're at max capacity right now. We are trying to raise our levels so we can get more. So definitely join a crew. I'll let you know when my crew becomes like open to recruiting more people, because we are at capacity. But when you do the crew event, right, You see the rewards that you can get for the crew event. You have shards, Fortress Exoskeleton Shard. So you have the Fortress Combat Engine Shard. You have the Fortress Tactics IP Shard. You have the Fortress Microreactor Shards. And you have the Exoskeleton Shards. And basically, you see how it says 40 of all of these? That's basically all that you need to get one of these things. So you can at least get one of these things every time that you, like, create, like, surpass, like, or reach a different level of this game mode by collecting these things right here. Reconstruction Index, right? You get a number of those. Like, I think probably this says I got to get 500 of those little shard thingies. To get that, I have 420 right now. You know, at some point in time, I think it was like 400 to get that, maybe 300 to get that. I'm not sure what the numbers actually were, but I'm just letting you know that's basically how to do it. Like right now, I defeat Fog Lady and Lucia. I think my clan just did that for me, and I get 20 more of these. So, and I don't know. So once you get enough shards, you just go to your inventory and you select fuse, and you can fuse them together and get your gear. Right now, I'm still working on different sets and stuff like that. So another way that you can do it too is go to the commissary and space-time store. And in space-time store, you're going to use this special type of currency, space-time crystal fragments. There's going to be a gold face space-time crystal fragments, and then there's going to be the purple. I think the purple actually has a different name, space-time crystal dust. You get those currencies from doing, you know, whatever events, and I'll talk about that in just a second, and then you can spend that currency to get, like, universal combat parts. This is how you upgrade these Fortress combat engines and the Fortress IPs, you know, tactics, whatever. You upgrade it with these things right here, and then once you get like 40, you can get a whole Fortress combat engine, which is one of the entire like piece, right? And then you can get the shards, which you can put those together and fuse to get the actual piece of equipment to put on your character. And you're gonna need to get multiple of these, right? So I'll show you my equipment right now, right? So this is the way my equipment looks as it stands. See how I have multiple pieces? I even have one that I'm not using right now that I'm probably going to use as material to upgrade another one. But I have multiple hands, multiple shoulders that I'm not even using that I'm probably going to use as material to upgrade at some point in time. But you're definitely going to want a number of these. Now, if you don't have the elite level gear, you're only able to get one level of ones, you know, load out of elite level gear, you can always go to the commissary when you have the energy crystal dust. That's the purple currency there, and buy a full set of purple gear that is min-max to your element, and that works just fine. See, at first, this is what I was doing. I think this is kind of like a pitfall mistake. I was trying to like increase all types of element gear at one time, so I had full set of purple gear here, full set of purple gear there, full set of purple gear there, and it was all just, you know, to one set. But I think the way to go is try to work on one set or maybe two sets at a time. I think that's what it is. Work on two sets at a time. But if you should happen to like open up a piece of gear that is hands, right, and you know at some point in time down the line you're going to want a hands with 2 crit and volt, keep that. And then put that on the other stat, you know what I mean? Like, you know, sort of just in the background, but maybe focus on trying to upgrade your first set of gear first that has the right, like, element on it that you want and enhance that. And how you enhance this gear, you see those little... You see the little red diamonds on my armor? So I click on that, and then I go to Enhance, and it tells me that I have a number of these things, booster modules. These are so important. Whenever you have the ability to get booster modules, get these things because they will help you increase your armor. So right now, this Fortress Handguards, they have no little number 1 on them, which is probably what is really holding me back on this set. You see how these other armors, they have like a 14, it has a 15, this has no number on it, so this, it enhances like the level of gear. So I'm just gonna go, and you will always want to prioritize these hands first because that's your crit, and that's gonna be where you get most of your damage from. So prioritize these first, like all the time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, and that brought that little 1 there, and then I'm gonna go to advance, and I've got a number of crystals, and I'm just gonna go ahead and advance. Now I'm missing this item, this little clock stopwatch looking thing. I'll hover my cursor over it. Alright, so this little stopwatch looking thing right here, I'll actually just go and buy one. So you can purchase one from the store, and what's hot, it's gonna, well, I can't purchase one because they cost 300 dark crystals. I thought they were like 50 or something. But you get these things, and basically what that means is when you are enhancing your gear in this way for the advance, you can actually block one stat that you don't want to increase. Like for this, looking at these stats, I have volt resistance, attack, flame attack, and HP. I don't use volt resistance on this piece at all. So if I had one of these cloth things, I'd press left on the D-pad and it'd bring up how many I want to use, because how many stars I'm going to get. I probably won't get any stars for this little bit of crystals that I have, but if I, let's say if I had this little bar down there, if it filled all the way up and the stars on the top right, you can't see it, my thing's in the way, but you see those little stars right there to the right of my webcam, it would say that, you know, using the materials that you've given us, your gear is going to go up 1 star, or it's going to go up 2 stars, it's going to go up 3 stars, and then you can use the stopwatch. If you have one, you say, I want to block volt resistance once, and you'll see a little box that pops up, and you can click the box that says block volt resistance. If you have enough crystals to make it go up 2 times, 3 times, that's how many that you use. You can't block multiple stats, you can only block 1 stat, but you can block that stat multiple times depending on how many stars your gear is going to go up with how much crystals that you have, or the equipment that you have, that raises it another star. And that's only going to be on the advanced screen, right? We're on the advanced. If you press L1, it goes to enhance. Enhance is for stars, no, enhance is for gear level, and advance is for star level. All right, so definitely I would probably block the volt resistance, so attack, flame attack, and HP could go up, in which a lot of the times they kind of hold you over anyway. They know you want the flame attack stat, they'll give you HP, which is probably why my HP stat is so high right now, because I didn't have any of those little stopwatch things that puts a block on it. But it's okay though. So the next thing you're probably asking is, how do I get more of these crystal cluster shard thingies? Well, they give those to you for free. Absolutely for free, especially right now. Whenever you see these events, like we're going back to the event, Jade Pavilion Fest, looking at this rewards, one of the rewards for this Jade Pavilion Fest was a large number of these crystal chunks. Let me see if I can't. They had space-time crystal fragments, energy crystal dust. Maybe this one was only just weapon batteries, matrix data. Yeah, I'm not seeing the crystal shards on this one, so I guess it's going to be Calling Melody. Calling Melody, they're giving these things away for free. I'm pretty sure Jade Pavilion Fest had them, though. I don't know. I might be faded on that. But this, yeah, whenever you see these little events pop up and you see these, get these at all costs, because they're given to me for free. You don't have to grind for these like in weird ways. You can get these. Now, another way to get these for a certainty is, like I can show you right now, when you go to your backpack and you have on the equipment tab, you scroll down to the equipment tab, go down to recycle, right? And then you see these little colors down here. This is like your level of gear. So right now it's clicked on white level gear, the lowest level gear. I don't have any super low level of gear, so I click on green. I have 2 pieces of this little green gear that's pretty trash. Click on blue, I've got 1 piece of this blue. Click on purple, I have no purple. Click on yellow, I have a couple of pieces of yellow. And then click on that red, and there's nothing red for us yet. So I don't want to do that for the gold level gear, so I take the gold level gear away, and then I want to use recycle on these 3 pieces, and they're gonna give me a number of crystal shards. All right, and you can sort of force that into happening, right? If you go to the commissary and you see how I have 300 of the purple crystal dust, that's not going to be enough to like buy one of these pieces. But if I did have like 3,000 of those, I could like spam elite combat leggings and get a bunch of those. But you don't want to, you don't want to recycle those. What you want to do is, when you get like a specific piece of gear, and let's just say I get a hand, these fortress, the elite gloves, whatever like that. When you go to the enhance rather, if you have those gloves down there for you to like increase, you get more EXP from using the gloves rather than turning the gloves into crystals, right? So don't turn like the specific pieces that you get. If you know that you have like extra leg guards that you got from a run and you want to turn those into crystals to enhance your legs, just use them to enhance your legs. Or if you want to enhance your shoulders but you don't have any shoulders but you do have the legs, then use the crystals. But you're going to lose out on EXP if you use the hands to turn to crystals to enhance your hands. You see what I'm saying? Like, I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it correctly. Alright, so that's gonna be it. That's all the information I could think to give you for this. I hope it, like, explained it properly, and if not, just go ahead and ask me down in the comments, and I'll try to, like, make it a little bit clearer with my reply. But that's essentially how you do it, right? You get your first set of gold gear. Your first set of gold gear is going to have just a mixed match of stats. You do the events, you do the joint operations, you do all the little different game modes there is to get the energy crystal dust, the gold energy crystal dust. You go to the store and you purchase different pieces of armor, and each set of armor that you purchase is going to have different random stats, and you're looking for those random stats to be the exact stats that you want for the set of gear that you want. And then there are ways that you can farm that energy crystal dust, and that's going to be through appointed research to get that type of currency. And there are other types of currency that you can get through appointed research. You just have to farm it, and that's going to be probably the main thing that you're going to be doing for the lifetime of the game, trying to get the perfect set of gear. Once you get the perfect set of gear for your flame set, move on to your ice set, and you're farming for the perfect set of ice. Then you're farming for the first perfect set of volt. You're farming for the perfect set of tank gear, healer gear, whatever the case may be. Hybrid sets. The sky is the limit of what you can do with this gear, alright? So, again, if I didn't explain it, like, too succinctly, just ask me down in the comments and I'll tell you, or you can just come onto a live stream and just ask me to reiterate and, like, make it a little bit clearer. But I think I pretty much covered everything in this, alright? So, that's gonna be it for this video. Sorry that it was so long. I know the video is probably gonna be, like, 30 minutes, and I didn't want it to be 30 minutes, but there's a lot of information to unload that I just can't, like, give you in, like, 5 minutes, so I apologize for that, alright? So, my name is Ventus, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was able to help, and if it was, just let me know down in the comments too. Alright guys, peace out.